Hi kids. Okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit different in this video, just for fun, maybe just for myself, doing it anyways. Uh, Academy Awards for this year are officially announced in 2 days. So I am going to predict, give you a primer, what to expect, some of the nominations. I'm just going to guess what's going to be nominated. There's lots of lists online that you can find that are pretty similar to this. Video is probably the same thing. This is mine. Just going to do it anyways. Okay, so we're going to start with Best Picture. On these lists, I'm going to start with the most likely to be nominated, going through to least likely. So, Best Picture, most likely to be nominated, Everything Everywhere All at Once. One I have on my list. Number two, Banshees of Inisherin. Three is Tar. Four is The Fabelmans. This time last year, when The Fabelmans was announced, I could have told you it was going to be nominated for Best Picture. So could other people. I'm not special. Number five is Top Gun Maverick. Maybe surprising to some people earlier in the summer, not so much now. And number six, I've got Elvis. Those six, I'm fairly confident, will be nominated for Best Picture. The rest of the list, I'm not so sure of. Remember, there can be anywhere from 5 to 10 nominees. A lot of lists I find online are all 10, and they don't mention that it could be less than 10. It could be less than 10, but every list has 10. I have stuck in my head for some reason that it's going to be 7, but that's just me. It's probably 10. So I'll name the 10 most likely. After that, bit of a mixed bag, anyone's guess. So at number 7, I have RRR. Usually, the last few years, the Academy has one slot that they have reserved for a foreign language picture. I think it's going to be our international feature. Is that what they're calling it now? I think it's going to be RRR. A lot of people have All Quiet and the Western Front in that spot. All Quiet on the Western Front had a lot of the BAFTA nominations, and as soon as that happened, everybody jumped on saying, All Quiet on the Western Front is going to win Best Picture. I don't think so. I don't think that's likely. It could happen. At this point, it's farther down on the list. I think it's RRR. Could be All Quiet in the Western Front. There's also Decision to Leave. I feel like one of those will be nominated for Best Picture. I'm saying RRR because it's more fun. Then I wouldn't necessarily group these films together like this, but the Academy would. This is my guess of the Academy, not my list. So next up at 8, I have Women Talking. There is a possibility, though, that it could be King or She Said, one of these female-centric films, if you will. You could say that Everything Everywhere at Once or Tar is the same thing. But this is how the Academy and a lot of these other lists are seen to group those films together and view them as. Of those three, I think Women Talking is the most likely to get a nomination for Best Picture. Could be the other ones. I think AFI's list of the 10 films of the year had 2 or 3 of those, so they didn't separate them and see we could only have one, like we can only have one foreign language feature. AFI is no foreign language, or foreign, but I'm saying Women Talking would be the one that they go with. If they do, maybe they don't. And then next up, I have The Whale. Not so sure if The Whale will get a Best Picture nomination. It's possible. Not sure how the Academy feels about the film itself. We know how they feel about the lead performance. How do they feel about the film? And then number 10, I have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Those are the 10. The first Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture. I'm guessing maybe this one will, but I have it at number 10. There's a possibility it's Avatar, The Way of Water instead, but we already have a blockbuster film on the list with Top Gun Maverick. That's definitely going to be on there. Not to say that Avatar or Black Panther can't as well. I don't know. I think Avatar might be snubbed, but a lot of people have it really high on their list of things that will be nominated. We'll see. This is my guess. Avatar gets snubbed. Okay, so a couple other films that I'll mention that could be sneaking on there. I've seen lots of people have Triangle of Sadness on there. I think that's a little bit too European for the Academy's taste. I can't see it happening, but it could. There's Living. There's also the way that he's been campaigning, Guillermo del Toro. He's been racking up a lot of awards for his Pinocchio, and he's been saying that animation is not a genre, it's a medium. And part of me is thinking that maybe he's lobbying, saying, nominate me for Best Picture. Animation can be a Best Picture nominee, and it can, and sometimes definitely there's animations that should be. So maybe it pays off. Maybe Pinocchio gets one of those Best Picture nods. Not. There's also Glass Onion. I think All Quiet on the Western Front is the foreign language feature that is nominated. Glass Onion has no shot, just because I feel like a lot of the times, if you look at the studios behind the pictures, they like to diversify and have every studio have their one film that they're pushing that year strongly. Last year, Netflix, some of the films that they had felt like they weren't getting the push, getting the recognition, because Netflix was going hard for Best Picture with The Power of the Dog, and they had quite a few films that they could have been pushing. They pushed everything into that, and it didn't pay off. So it seems like Netflix has let off the gas a little bit this year with their push for Best Picture, but we'll see. But both of those, All Quiet, Glass Onion, are Netflix productions, so we'll see. And then last, it's a genre film, so I'd be very, very surprised if it gets nominated. Nope. I mean, it could happen, but probably nope. Okay, so that is the Best Pictures. I spent 8 minutes talking about Best Pictures. It's going to be a long video. If you're watching, thanks, but you're probably not. All right, so let's go to directors then. So pretty much the same order as the Best Picture nominees. The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh for Banshees, Todd Field for Tar, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Some people don't have Spielberg on their list because the BAFTAs, he was not on the list, but he wasn't on the BAFTAs list last year either. For some reason, they have something against Spielberg recently, maybe. I'm not sure, but Spielberg's going to get a nomination, right? And then the fifth one, there's lots of names that have been thrown out there. I hope the Academy is going to do the right thing and nominate Sarah Polley. Maybe that's just me championing a Canadian. Get a Canadian on there. So I'm picking Sarah Polley. Could be somebody else. Could be James Cameron, or who knows. Those are my 5 guesses. Animated feature, I've already said Pinocchio. Pinocchio is most likely is the front runner to win animated feature. So Pinocchio. Next up is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. You notice a lot of the films this year have those very long titles. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Turning Red is number 3. That Canadian. I don't think it's going to win. That's why it's number 3, but it will be nominated. And then the other 2, there could be other animated features on here. I'm saying number 4 is Boots. And number 5, I haven't seen it on a lot of lists, but like I said, with the Best Picture, I kind of like to make all the studios happy. Minions, The Rise of Gru. Is it the best animated feature of the year? It's on the list. I put it on the list that it will be nominated, so that's my guess. Okay, let's go to supporting. So, supporting actress, Angela Bassett. Number 1, number 2, Kelly Condon. Either one of those could win. Number 3, Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now we're only down to 3, and I don't think Jamie Lee has any chance of winning it. She will be nominated. Number 4, Hong Chow. And number 5, Stephanie Su. I think those are the 5 most likely nominees for Best Supporting Actress. Pretty diverse group. All right, so go to Supporting Actor. This one, Shoo-in, he's already won the award. There's no drama around it whatsoever. It's Ki Hu Kwan, short round, is going to win an Academy Award. Academy likes their stories. This is the story. Not that the win isn't warranted, but sometimes they just really like a story. So Ki is going to win Best Supporting Actor. I'm just saying that right now. Predict it right now. He's going to win. Everybody knows it. It's not a secret. Number 2, thanks for coming out. Brendan Gleeson will be nominated. And from the same film, Barry Keoghan, Banshees of Inisherin. And then number 4, I've got Paul Dano. I've seen Paul Dano nominated as a lead and not a support on some lists. It's possible. Sometimes there's category fraud. I've got Paul Dano, number 4, the nominated supporting actors. And then number 5, same thing. There's a lot of different names that could be in this spot. I'm picking Eddie Redmayne, mostly because the Academy knows him. He's been there before. They like to go back to familiar faces. Eddie Redmayne. Okay, so let's do lead actors. The 5 most likely to be nominated. Number 1, Brendan Fraser. Again, feel like this is his year for the award. Same thing as Key. His Encino Man co-star. Academy likes a story, even if the story isn't entirely factual. They've kind of taken Brendan's story and kind of tweaked it a little bit to fit their Hollywood narrative. Brendan Fraser will be nominated. Next up, a lot of people think he will win Best Actor. Possibility. There's a story there too. Austin Butler, Elvis. He hasn't dropped the voice yet, so he's still campaigning. Number 3, Colin Farrell. Those eyebrows are going to get him a nomination. And then the other 2, again, less sure. I've got Bill Nighy for Living at number 4. Number 5, I've seen a lot of people have Tom Hanks on their list. Man Called Otto. I don't think that's going to happen. I know I said with Eddie Redmayne that let's go to a familiar name, but it's not the 90s anymore. If they were just going with a familiar name, then Tom Hanks would be nominated for supporting for Elvis, and that's not happening. So I don't see him being nominated for lead. I could be wrong. Let's see. Instead, I have Daniel Mescal, After Sun, a smaller film. Sometimes gets recognition in a category like that and not anything else. Could get nominated for Best Picture. I'm saying no because I didn't have it on my list, did I? And then we'll end with the Best Actresses. 1 and 2 can be flipped and flopped, and they will up until the awards. Right now, I have Cate Blanchett as number 1, most likely to win, definitely going to be nominated. Number 2 is Michelle Yeoh. She could also very well win. It's going to be one of those 2 that win. Can't see any of these other ladies having a chance. Number 3, Michelle Williams. Some people don't have Michelle Williams on the list, but as I said, she's a name familiar to the Academy. She's a team player. She gets recognized all the time. She'll get recognized this year. Number 4, Danielle Deadweiler, Till. And then number 5, another name the Academy knows. It's her time right now. So I have Viola Davis rounding out the categories. That is my 16-minute video on my predictions on some of the nominations that will happen in 2 days. I'm going to get at least 65% right. Right? We'll see. Thanks. Like, subscribe if you watched it. What do you think? Argue with me. Come on, do it.